Greetings, namaste. My name is Elena Ra, and this is a podcast. And this podcast is about the human soul, which is who we are. It's a template for existing here on the planet through our soul, through our consciousness, and the soul in nature is melancholy. From my understanding of experiencing my soul, it's where we experience all of existence, all of our feelings and all of our emotions, joy, pain, grief, love, fear. All these different feelings are experienced through the soul. And the soul is very important, you see, because it's the storehouse of our memories. It's the storehouse of our feelings and our interpretation of the world, our story, and also our collective experience, our models of the world and all of that kind of stuff. And the soul has an ecology. It has its climate, which is determined by our reaction to the world and our interpretation of the world. And what I found really fascinating through experiencing life is what nourishes the soul and what diminishes the soul. And such things like what I call soul food. Soul food is something that nourishes the soul. Music, laughter, being with family and friends, art, creativity, the joy of experiencing nourishes the soul. And the ecology of the soul is bittersweet, is melancholy, bittersweetness, the dark and the shadow, the masculine and the feminine. It holds everything. You know, it is like a cauldron, the alchemist, a lab, where all these different aspects of life and existence come and melt into one. And it is this oneness that I think I'm talking about, where all these different aspects of our experiencing and our emotions come together as one, and what they create when they're there. And it's important to note that none is more or less than the other. It's just what it is. They're all the various ingredients of life and experiencing, and something that on some level we've chosen to be here and experience. So, of course, we have the choice to choose these things, to choose everything in life, actually. In fact, once we realise that we're always at a place of choice, then we're actually able to have some kind of, I wouldn't say control, or be able to mould the ecology of our own soul. And this means being in our sovereignty. The human soul experiences its own weather, its own weather systems, its ebb and its flow, when you're on the top of the curve and at the bottom of the curve, the valley, and when you're on the mountain top. And this is in line with the planet that we live on. Of course, we are of the planet, so we're bound to experience the same soul ecology as the planet has, with its weather systems and its various locations, its various zones, geographic zones. And the soul has a similar imprint. Naturally, it would have a similar imprint. spending time in nature is very important to attune the soul with itself, because they are one of the same. And in fact, when we end up having certain emotions and feelings that are uncomfortable, the best place to go to surrender and to let go of certain feelings and emotions that are clogging or the various weather patterns within the soul is nature. Because nature is by design there for exactly that. Because as nature interprets energy purely as energy, they do not distinguish between good or bad or anything else like that. So by going to nature is a perfect way to release, to detoxify, and to give thanks, and to feed the soul, and to remember who you are. So yes, it's really important to remember this actually. The true nature of the soul actually doesn't have the kind of mind intelligence that our mind has and our ego in terms of interpreting things as negative or positive. It just is. And it is the mind that often gets in the way and distinguishes certain things and determines whether something is good or whether something is bad. Now, the truth of the matter is that the soul also has some sort of intelligence, in the sense that you know how you feel when you're uncomfortable, when you feel burdened. And that means that there's an aspect of the soul that has gone out of sync with itself. It's become polarized on some level, you know, or it's consumed too much of one thing, and the ecology has fallen out of balance, like, of course, what's been happening on the planet. Because if there isn't enough of the right sort of nourishment or the right sort of environment for the soul ecology to exist in its natural state, it is going to let you know. And we're talking about the soul, and it's where we reside, and it's what is incarnated here within this body, within our bodies. And it's the journey of the soul. It is a soul journey to remember who we are, and to move through the lessons of the soul in terms of how we embrace it and how we deal with being present within ourselves. And on this topic, it's really important as soul beings that we connect with one another on this level. So to be authentic in this place, this is what the soul really yearns for, to be authentic within ourselves, to see ourselves within our expression, to enjoy being who we are organismically, to have a deep sensitivity to to our personal ecology. You know, as we connect with one another, we recognize ourselves in one another. And just like the planet that we exist on has its various seasons, where there's birth in spring, renewal in summer, where things flourish and bloom and grow in autumn, when things begin to pull back, the leaves start fading, changing colour, and eventually fall away. And then winter, where there's deep rest and hibernation. Our soul is the same. We have these various seasons, and they can happen in the space of a few moments. the wonderful thing about existing within ourselves and having this human experience is that things can change just like that, you know, and sometimes we can stay in a place of deep rest or renewal for however long that particular journey takes for each individual. So in terms of communicating and sharing on this level to one another, it's so important in all our relationships, and truly this is the way forward to reintroduce ourselves to each other from that place. Now some people are still in hiding and haven't really gotten used to expressing who they are on a soul level authentically, and they struggle with that. This is each and every one of our soul calling, to be exactly who we are from the inside out. So in the process of doing so, I see you as I see myself. The more I am able to get real with who I am, what I feel, how my soul tells me so, the more I'm able to be far more accepting and compassionate with the world. And then all of the veils fall away, all of the hidden aspects of ourselves, particularly the shadow side of us that keeps us in hiding, eventually falls away, and there's this new freshness that is revealed, which the heart embraces wholeheartedly, and the soul, the ecology of the soul then expands, and an alchemical process happens where instantly we feel joy, we feel nourished, we get that soul food, and we feel connected. And this is that's what the human journey is about. It's about being connected to the whole, where our soul ecology connects with the ecology of the planet, and as our soul ecology connects with the soul of the planet, it connects with the universal soul. And this is where enlightenment happens, this is where true awakening happens. So it's so important that we continue to connect with each other as we actually are. There's such a beautiful thing that happens. It's Tantra. You know, we become alive. Our chakras expand and they all become ignited and they all align. And the energy moves from the earth all the way up, all through all the chakras, through the top of the head, straight up to the universe. And there's this wonderful connection that happens from the universe and the earth, whereby the soul is the conduit. This is the key. This is what happens. And there are certain techniques that can also help you align yourself to that, through meditation, through practicing techniques of non-thought. So you move away from the thoughts. So pure consciousness is able to be a point of reference. So you're actually observing through pure consciousness, and you're able to see the various aspects of our being, including the mind chatter and the ego, and actually then sit in our hearts and experience our expanded presence, our expanded form. So yes, the soul is here. We, as soul beings, we are here to experience this human journey, and this is where we relate from, as we move away from the left-brained, rational and logical way of thinking to the more intuitive, which is based from the soul aspect of ourselves, and of course from the heart. And we now are in a place where we are feeling from our mind and thinking from our heart. So it's a turnaround of our experiencing of life and ourselves and of each other. So let us move forward with this understanding, and let us embrace completely who we are. Let us accept our human journey, our soul journey, and connect on this level with one another, because this is where we're able to bypass all of the aspects, all of the programming that has been inauthentic in terms of not expressing our feelings, not expressing the truth of who we really are and what it means to being human. So I leave this with you. Namaste. My name is Elena Ra. Beloved soul being, I see you as I see myself. We are one, having this human soul experience. Beloved soul, be at peace. Be one with nature. Be one with the universe. Namaste. Only love.